Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have with me a very sweet student. She is a proud Amazonian and she's Dr. Namrata Bagchi from Kolkata, and she secured an awesome rank of 40 in NEET PG 2020. This is absolutely amazing, Namrata. So, heartiest congratulations, beta.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And Namrata is very different. Although this is not her internship year, she has given the exam after internship, but she did not really give the NEET before. So this is her first NEET experience, and it has been awesome right in the first go. Yes, Namrata?
Yes, ma'am.
And Namrata ne abhi 2019 she had joined a regular batch with us in Kolkata, and now I want to ask you, Namrata, that when you began your journey last year in 2019, right? How did you decide that you want to do a regular batch, or how would you start your preparation for the NEET PG exam? I'm sure you would have heard a lot from your batchmates and other things about how the paper is. So how did you decide?
Yeah, from the beginning, what I felt was that whichever exam I decide to give, I would give my whole heart to it. My preparation and focus and energy would be solely dedicated to that.
Wonderful.
So, the year which I completed my internship, I passed out, I graduated in March 2019.
Yeah.
Then I joined the March batch, regular DAMS Kolkata.
Okay.
And I had a very great experience. The faculty there, they were very understanding. They took the classes, and the timings were absolutely perfect. So I didn't have any energy issues with that. But what I did was, I did not join house staffship that year. So I feel that distraction, which could have been avoided, so I didn't take that up.
And I think that was a wise decision as well. So, जैसे कि आपने बोला that you decided whenever you will prepare, you'll go all out. So, आपने 2019 post internship, you just went with the regular batch and started your preparation. Great. Now, I want to ask you, Namrata, now that you look back, right, after getting a good rank, I think an amazing rank 40 is out of so many students is absolutely commendable. So now that you look back, what do you think were the most important ingredients that actually made you come this far?
I think also it's because of the interest that one wants. From the beginning, if you did take MBBS thinking that it is where you belong, that is what I thought. I felt that I would make the best version of myself as a doctor. That is what I always imagined myself to be.
That's great.
So from the very beginning, I had very enthusiastically I had joined my MBBS, and I did all my classes very well. But out of all that, I felt the final year and the internship year were the most crucial, because that's when you get to learn the clinics.
Yes.
And the clinical classes are they were like pure gold for me. So the learning is where the wards are. We cannot separate ourselves from that. So as doctors, I felt that we should incline more toward the clinical classes than just attending the regular, the classrooms which are taken in our college or something, because we need to orient ourselves that way. And since this year, that's what I figured it out, the complete pattern which aims PGI then as well as the NEET this year, they totally changed the pattern to such, it was in favor of what I always wanted, because I wanted it to be clinically oriented. It is not just the MCQs which
I think, and I'm more than glad you said that, because a lot of people think that doing the MCQs will teach you the content and the application of the content, which is, I think, not correct.
Which is not true.
MCQs would help only to get the exam skill. So let's say to cover up the time frame, how to exclude options, or how to rule in things, how to put things together. But when it comes to application or content, it has to be a thorough knowledge. Yes. So that's wonderful, right? And now I really want to ask you, Namrata, that do you think that attending the classes did actually make a difference? That when you sit there, you listen, you write, you repeat answers or speak out things, this all helps, and the major part of the learning happens in the class itself?
Yes, ma'am, that's definitely true. But that is only when, I think, if you are giving your 100% to it.
That's
you need to be absolutely 100% present during the classes. People,
yes.
I've seen people wasting time just taking the notes, changing different color pens, and then binging, dirting, a lot of other things going on. But I feel that if you give your 100% concentration on that particular day, the learning is half done.
Right, so we call it as mindful learning,
Yes.
right? So mere presence is not what is required. As I said, therefore I said that when you are in a class and you listen, then you speak out the answers, maybe to yourself,
Yes.
and then you write, and even like a head nod, or when a teacher asks you something, is active involvement, and those things help to stay with you for a longer time.
And that helps to build the logic also, which we need to approach a question, because just memorizing or just looking at the answers or the video solutions, they don't really help if you don't understand the logic.
That's
Because
absolutely
that's
true.
what I also feel, that probably memory will fail you, but logic will never fail you.
That's right. So clearing your concepts, I think, is definitely of prime importance, looking at the pattern of the exams that is coming. Also, Namrata, I would really want to ask you that 2019 paper was very different from the one that came in 2020. But do you think that the classes at DAMS did give you that edge, that no matter what the change in pattern is, you were sort of ready with it?
I would say that was more because the mock tests that this year, the PGI, AIMS and everything, since we were preparing for the central institutes just from
Yes.
right from the beginning, and the NEET was the year-end exam, that really helped a lot, because I felt that pattern, that clinical orientation, I was very much prepared with that,
Right.
rather
So-
than just a one-liner or something.
Yes, so you should definitely give all the mock exams that we conduct. So we will
Yes.
conduct AIMS mock, PGI mock,
Especially
CBTs.
the JIPMER mock was an excellent paper, which which I gave on the DAMS. Whenever I gave it at home, it was always that I was solely dedicated that I need to give that exam with my full concentration. So
Right.
the video solutions also that way. Whenever I saw it, was like I'm learning from my own mistakes, and it is
Yeah.
like a promise to my own self that I won't repeat my mistake again.
Yes, that really
that's
the
helped
best
me.
way of learning,
Yes.
right? And also, there is this thing that she's brought up is really important. A lot of people, when they start preparing, would shy away from giving these exams. They would not give grand tests, they would not give the mock exam, they would not give even the main paper, sometimes thinking that we're not preparing for this, right? So what is your take on giving all these exams that we regularly keep in DAMS? And this time, we've planned like 5 CBTs, 2 mocks before May exam, 2 mocks before the November exam. So what do you think should be the approach for a student who's preparing for these exams?
I think we should give as many as tests as possible. That is what I felt, because from the that test will help you judge your own stand, where you stand. Because I don't think many people will agree with me with this, because when I began to give the test, I think I scored. The positives were more towards like 134. Then slowly it was very slow, very gradual. And there's a lot of difference between the CBT 3 and 4 which I gave.
Yes.
So that is an upward trend or a downward trend which you will see in your own performance, and that is very important for you to see that and learn from that.
Right. Since when did you start giving the grand tests?
Grand test, I think I began from September, ma'am.
Okay.
So the grand tests are important, especially because you need to give equal importance to the parts which you feel that you are lacking, and as well as your strong points, because my strategy was that those strong points will help me take risks more. So like for
Right.
example, if I feel that gynae is my strong point, I can take as many risks as I want. Like even if I feel that my guessing is more or less correct, I can take a risk there.
Agreed.
But where the weak points are, I usually avoid those.
So that's a
really
good trick that she said. You should know where you can take the risk of making a choice between 2 when you're stuck in 2, and where you can probably avoid it, right? By knowing whether the particular subject or an area is your strong or a weak zone, right? And now I also want to ask you, बच्चे कि you were doing regular classes. जब regular classes खत्म हुई, आपका schedule finished, how did you plan your revision from then onwards?
I think I usually made a list of the upcoming exam and the ones which I wanted to focus more. For
Okay.
example, like I was targeting the AIMS November this time, so I focused more on physiology, pathology, as well as the clinical subjects, because I
Right.
felt even if there isn't much weightage to anesthesia, I felt that was extremely important because that is somewhere where I lacked a lot.
Okay.
So
And since nowadays these subjects are coming in an integrated pattern, you know, you never know. Maybe the question sounds like surgery, but ends up with something like anesthesia, right?
and even pharmacology and medicine are so interrelated.
Yes.
This time in NEET also I felt, because they kind of underestimate the number of questions which are actually there in the paper.
Yes.
Because they are all connected to each other.
And again, you know, especially I would want to ask that a lot of people will, we know that government has a plan of bringing up next as well, right? Where although they are saying they're going to focus on clinical subjects, do you think that basic sciences is still important looking at the current pattern?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I feel your basics need to be extremely strong. The basic sciences like anatomy and physiology, they are all applied in your clinics as well.
Yes.
So we need to strengthen that, because anywhere you keep, you did get away, you won't get away this time. Even during your MBBS, the first year prof or whatever, people usually think that they can get away with that, but this time in NEET, that's what I found. You can't really get away with it.
Yes, so everything is asked, but yes, how they ask is going to change. They will twist some things, put it in an integrated manner, but they will definitely try and cover the important things from all aspects. Okay, so now also I would want to ask you that towards the end, how did you plan your revision, let's say a month before the exams?
I felt that first of all, actually, I used to keep a whiteboard and a writing pen in my room.
Okay.
So whenever I felt that I was lacking in a subject, I usually meant that was an extra revision for me.
Okay.
So
Agreed.
I need to make 2 more revisions before the exam. Usually I gave a revision of almost all the subjects. Probably FMT was a neglected subject for me, but
Okay.
more or less the remaining I gave minimum of 5 revisions I did give.
Oh, and what were you reading in these revisions? Was it primarily your notes?
Yeah, that was primarily the notes, but I feel the previous year's question papers were a lot of help.
Yes.
Especially the eMedicals app. I don't know why people, I think they avoid, because it's on your mobile phone, it is small to see, but you can always increase the font size and you can read it. So make use of it.
Yes.
Because it's an awesome app. And I felt the previous year's question paper were really, really of great help.
Yes, and I think yes, if at all someone has to practice questions, it should be a 300 set MCQs like Grand Test, or it should be previous year MCQs, more than, you know, getting into thousands and thousands of MCQs of a topic. That really doesn't help. So you have to learn the application of it, right? And let's say for an exam like Central Institutes, right? What were you doing before November exams, and then what did you do from November to NEET? Because a lot of people would be doing a regular course this year, so they want to make their timeline. So what exactly do you think they should be doing before the November exams, and then what should be doing from November to the NEET exam?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, that is a problem which I faced a lot. That is,
Okay.
the change in pattern was so sudden.
Yes.
That even before the NEET, I felt that I didn't have much practice in that pattern. So that kind of it flusters you sometimes, that you feel that I read so much yet I'm not prepared. But you should feel that if you're targeting a particular exam, your energy should be towards that.
Right.
So before the AIMS November, what I did was I just focused on giving more and more mock tests, because the notes are complete. The notes are all there. We don't need to add more to it. What we need
Yes.
is more practice, and so that from there you get to learn, and you can develop your own strategy, and that speed is what you need. I mean, there are people which have spoken to me, and I used to tell them the same thing, that from the question itself, the reading and rereading the question just wastes your time. You need to find the crux of the question and identify the image with it, and that's really how you solve the question. That's what this year AIMS is also targeting to do, because 200 questions aren't really 200, it's close to almost 288 when you calculate the true and false and the remaining patterns. So that was a challenge for me as well.
Okay, wonderful. And now I want to ask you that, just let's say एक हफ्ता पहले नीट से पहले क्या पढ़ा था या क्या पढ़ना चाहिए?
एक हफ्ता पहले तो मैम, I think I gave one grand test, and
Okay.
then I just kind of breezed through the solutions in one day, and the
Okay.
remaining it was just mainly the revisions from the notes.
Okay, wonderful. And you had a lot of visual questions. Do you think that the DVT was helpful for you towards
Yes,
the
ma'am,
end?
definitely. DVT was this time, I think, in Obs Gynae, it was of much help. I mean,
Yes, because somehow we had a feeling that
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will get a clinical
Yes,
paper and the entire thing was kept clinical.
definitely. I think the prediction this time, it was for NEET, it was amazing. Especially for Obs Gynae, I saved a lot of time from in
Yes.
that. And the images relating to anatomy, they were a little difficult. But I think if you can apply it well, it shouldn't be a problem.
राइट एंड बहुत सारे बच्चे अभी आपसे पूछेंगे नम्रता, तो हाँ एम्स कैप्सूल जो है वो क्या नीट के लिए भी इम्पॉर्टेंट था? और आप आई वुड ऑल्सो वांट टू आस्क, क्योंकि अभी बहुत सारे बच्चे मे एम्स भी दे रहे हैं, सो व्हाट वुड बी योर सजेशन फॉर मे एम्स एज एंड वेदर द एम्स कैप्सूल वाज अ यूजफुल थिंग फॉर द नीट एग्जाम्स एज वेल?
Ma'am, I think AIMS capsule, especially the surgery videos, they were of immense help, because
Okay.
I felt that surgery is such a vast subject.
Yes.
It's not possible to read all the notes before the AIMS.
Agreed.
Honestly. But the videos, they summarize very well. So you can get a good idea about the kind of approach you should give even during the exam.
राइट.
And so far as the preparation of May AIMS, I think we shouldn't really run after getting new images. You need to understand the concept well. For example, this year November AIMS, when there was a question, image relating to a vacuum suction device, I think people, they couldn't really make out what that was. But if you kind of look carefully and understand what you read in your notes, you can correlate it well. So
Yes.
there are hundreds of images and hundreds of videos in the net, but to just gather new things won't make sense if you don't understand it from the beginning.
I think I completely agree with her कि अभी time कम है, so rather than running for new things and increasing the bulk for your preparation, concentrate on what you already have and how you'll apply that, and multiple revisions would be more helpful rather than adding new things. This is great. And Namrata, I just want to ask about your strategy in the paper itself. How many questions did you attempt, beta?
Yeah, this time in NEET PG I attempted 282 questions out of 300.
Okay.
And I think out of that I got 38 wrong.
Okay.
But that was because I more or less wanted to have less number of negatives. I was aiming that probably not exceeding more than 30, but that is how it is. But I
Very
felt
nice.
that in the clinical section, more than the basic sciences, that is where I took more number of guesses and more number
Yes.
of risks than the anatomy or physiology.
But I think that also helped. Had you been a little more defensive, then वो शायद ज़्यादा defensive हो जाता. That's great. And what branch do you want to pursue?
Well, I have a lot on my mind currently.
Not decided yet.
Yes.
So I'm sure she'll be able to figure out what she really wants to do, and whatever she does, because her strategy is whatever you do it to the best of your ability.
Yes.
I think so. Whatever she is going to pursue, she will be the best at it, and we are so proud of you,
Thank you
and
so
we are
much,
so
ma'am.
happy to have you here. Thank you so much, and we wish you a very bright future ahead. Do you want to thank someone as well?
I really like to thank my parents for that, because
Yeah.
they did not pressurize me during the entire preparation. And even when on the days when I felt like let's just leave everything, let's go and watch a movie, they didn't tell me anything. I probably would have had the shortest study hours too. I was not really a late night person, but I felt that my greatest source of energy was my parents.
That's great.
And my favorite study partner of all time, my twin sister Nandita Bakchi, because
And we're going to get her for the interview as well. Do you want to introduce Nandita as well?
yeah, I will love to. She is my twin sister, Nandita Bakchi. I have another older sister. Both of them have been a really great support for me, and I think it's more of a mind game actually. The exams are more of a mind game, so having that emotional stability during the exams was a really great help for me.
That's
So
great.
I really like to thank those
Yes,
important people in my
definitely. I
life.
think we would like to have a lot of gratitude for your parents, and their contribution is always immense, and without their support and well wishes, I think it's very difficult to reach where you have reached. So heartiest congratulations to the entire Bakchi family. They've done really well. I'm going to get her sister as well. She's secured a rank of 1100, and we will have her here as well. But thank you so much, Namrata, and God bless you, bacha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.